Hey guys, I'm just going to do a short video. Today is January 1st. It is exactly 10:33. I've been working on forecasts today. It's been hard for me to really kind of have a chance to really peek in and see what's going on with the University of Idaho murders. The killer is caught. We know Brian Kohlberger. There was a weird thing that would happen. I didn't tell you guys. But when I would when you do the voice text on the Google, I don't know, it's just something weird. I don't know if it'll do it now. I think my iPad always downstairs. Maybe it's the sound of my voice, but at various times, I would have to go and edit. I would maybe speak into Google Talk with my phone, University of Idaho murders. But you know what it would always do? It would do University of Idaho burgers, Bergers, and I would have to go in and edit it. And then this guy's name is Kohlberger. I don't know. It kind of hit me, and it was just like a weird freaking thing. I know it's not his full last name, but it was weird that the text would be Bergers instead of murders. Almost every time I'm trying to say murders, that's the way Google would translate my speech. And I sit here. But something about it tonight. I'm sitting here. I'm working forecasts. My forecasts, 2023 forecast. My list is long, and I'm working. I'm crossing off the people. But it's so hard. I've been checking things and everything. But a lot of us tarot readers. There's a lot of readers. And I've checked some other ones. Psychic Sleuth, that tarot. I'm sorry, no, they don't use tarot. Let me, or they may, I don't know. But they're a reader on here. They actually picked up quite a bit of stuff. They actually got the blue eyes and certain things. I know Reverend Donna Serafina has been doing some things. She got a few things, and I know some people may say things like, what about the bread stuff? But she did pick up, certain things about it. A lot of us picked up some kind of incel energy, very, one people. But no matter, it doesn't matter. Tonight, I sat there, I was listening to a song. I'm debating, should I play it? And then I may get claimed. I'll see how it goes. If YouTube is going to claim it because I played part of it, I'll see. I'll see if they let me get away with it. But this is what I was kind of listening to. I'll play a brief moment of it. But give me a moment. I was just I was in a private blog that I have online, and I was thinking about them. What the story is really about, Thinking about Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, Xana. What it's all really been about all along. Like I said, if I get claimed, it's totally fine. I was listening to that song. That's going to be my 2023 song. I have a little private mentor group, and I kind of said to everybody, what's going to be your song for 2023? And I was debating what it was, and that song came to mind. And I, in my very private blog, which nobody, it's just between me, my teach, my very little spirit tribe, off in another place. I posted at YouTube, and I posted a picture of, Maddie, Xana, Ethan, and Kaylee. I read the case. A lot of us readers have done that over the last month. And it was the first time I really kind of cried about it. Thinking, I guess there's a point you got to be kind of steely, to kind of focus on, those reads. But it's, the killer's caught, that's good. It doesn't bring him back, that's bad. And just kind of sitting here, in this, and I just kind of listen to that song, and I'm just like, oh, this fucking world, they deserve better. They deserve better than this. And it is a hard one. We sit there, we're spiritualists. We're trying to work for the spirit, give messages, and of course we are going to have those moments. I'll never lose my faith. I know spirit exists. I've had too much confirmation in my life. I know the spirit is alive and well, and real. But even just last night, I was like, got to get the nails and toes done. That's one of the things. I got the New Year's kind of nails, but you know what? There was what was kind of bizarre. The nails place is very close to where I live. I had moved a couple months ago in October, ready for a bigger place, and I went to a place that I thought it was a little bit safer, and so far it definitely is. I feel better now that I moved. But what I saw, which was very unusual, is I saw parked near the nails place, I saw a hearse. Now, I know some people drive hearses. They do it just kind of personally. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys know how well Brandon Lee, who was Bruce Lee's son, who died. I did do a thing in the community. I posted a snip of something that is inscripted on his grave. I was lucky enough to be able to stand there and visit Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee's grave. They are buried in Seattle, and I was actually born there. I was born in Seattle. Bruce Lee, definitely, his words and everything had a big impact on my life, and even Brandon Lee, who died in 1993. A lot of things happened to me in 1993. For instance, right around the time he died, which was in March 31st of 1993, was almost precisely around the time my mother had been diagnosed with cancer. And she was pretty much, the doctor said she had about 3 to 6 months to live. She lived for about 5.5 of those months, and she died that year. That year I also got pregnant. 1993 was a very huge year for me. So something about Brandon Lee has always been with me. In the Crow movie it's iconic. Many people about that movie and so forth. But he did drive a hearse. Brandon Lee, he had a thing with this hearse, and he drove a hearse. But a lot of it, apparently, obviously his father died very young. You could be taken at any time, a really kind of a freak way. And maybe he always felt he might die in a freak way too. And he did. He that is actually true. But seeing that hearse, man, it just made me think of so many things. Of course, death, you're automatically going to think of death. You're absolutely you never know when your time is up. That is 100% true. It made me think of Brandon Lee because he drove a hearse. and certain things about him, as he's had an impact on me a little bit more than maybe people realize. And a matter of fact, let me grab my phone to get you the quote. If you didn't watch my video, which I put in the community for you guys. Hold on. I should have things more prepared and ready. I know I'm being kind of somber and melodramatic, but it's when things like this happen, it's a good thing to know. So let me get you the quote. Hold on. Quote on Brandon Lee's grave. This has always stuck with me. Now, he wasn't the one who... Hold on 1 second.
Everything happens a certain number of times.
Now, he didn't actually quote it. It was taken from another author. But this is the inscription on his grave. And it was in his very last interview. He quoted the person. And it comes from The Sheltering Sky is the name of it. Because we do not know when we are going to die, we get to think of life as an inexhaustible well, and yet everything happens only a certain number of times, and a very small number really. How many times will you remember a certain afternoon of your childhood, an afternoon that is so deeply a part of your being that you cannot conceive of your life without it? Perhaps 4 or 5 times more? Perhaps not even that. How many times will you watch the full moon rise? Perhaps 20, and it all seems limitless. Yet here on earth it's not limitless. That was the point. And apparently I just discovered very recently the reason why he liked to drive a hearse. There was a movie in 1971, and it's called Harold and Maude. I was, born in 1969, so I vaguely remember the movie. Of course, I remember hearing about it. But so it was a couple of years after I was born, this movie came out. And it's about this young man, and he's young and he's rich, and he's very fascinated with the concept of death and weird things. But he meets this old woman named Maud, and she basically shows him the importance of life. Apparently she's a Holocaust survivor and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so it's kind of a comedy, weird drama, yet very a little macabre kind of energy, but it's very much a really, teach him, that we got to live life to the fullest. And apparently they end up having a relationship, which is kind of weird because he's very young and she's very old. But they have a very much, like maybe they were twin flames, you could say. So you're always welcome. You can even Google and pull some stuff up. And I actually, a voice kind of spoke to my mind to listen to the theme song. It's from Cat Stevens. So if anybody wants to Google, I'll let you do that. I'm probably going to get claimed for Ooh Child. But it's very true, that we, I get reading the case, it's tragic, and I know these poor children deserve better. I kind of sat there for a moment. Like I said, tears started coming when I really, it's like, okay, we did the readings, we did all that. And of course and I'm always aware these are children, these are like they become my own. But there's, I guess it's part of human nature, even though I'm well aware that they were not here. When you see the pictures, they feel alive, and there's something in you. God, I wish maybe I just wake up from a dream, and then and that they're fully alive. And I know somewhere on the other side, their spirits go on. I know that as a spiritualist, but I know there's an ugly side that they went through. I know there's talk, maybe the parents were told, maybe they passed quick. I'm not necessarily feeling that. Okay. As far as not suffering, I'm sorry. I highly doubt there was no suffering. Maybe somebody wanted to tell them that, so they wouldn't, think in mind, that they had, but, and maybe, and I would hope maybe they were correct, but I I'm not feeling that. Okay, necessarily myself. One of these things, though, I just want to get on here quick. Finally when we could get paused. There's like this kind of relief. Thank God the killer is God. We know it's him. Okay, we know it's him. All right. We don't need to mess with that. I know some of you want me to do his chart. I am going to do that. Yes, I do want to see what the hell is in there. And I will discuss it when I'm ready to. At the very moment, like I said, I've got a list of people. I still got to get their forecast done and getting them there, and I'm working on them. But I just took a pause. But I was just kind of sitting there to myself. I had to take pause. We want to remember, no matter what, this is what it's really been about all along, even with the craziness and the madness, that I know people can, and I know a lot of people do love and care about these kids. They do. And but I guess, just kind of sitting here taking pause tonight, when all is kind of quiet and I can kind of sit there, and I do appreciate that I can have those quiet moments to just kind of focus. I need them for my sanity in a crazy world and everything. But just kind of thinking of, Brandon Lee, just seeing that hearse outside, even just at the nail place. I'm just minding my own business, going to get nails done. Not that, Spirit's trying to necessarily taunt me, necessarily, not at all. But even just like, Brandon Lee, he always had that in there in his mind. Death is advisor is what we call it on the Toltec path, the Castaneda path. What was it? It could tap us in any time. We don't know. We don't know when that moment is. We think of life as an inexhaustible well. That's part of the human nature, because we, to sit there and be intimate, you could say, with death. That something can happen at any moment. I could be driving in the car, somewhere, and just, and all of a sudden there's an accident and I'm not here. So many things could happen. Hopefully I can choose when I get to go. That's always the goal. That I can say, okay, I'm ready, Spirit. I'm old and I'm ready. Hopefully that I've done everything that I can, that I wanted to set out to do and accomplish. We always, hope that and pray for that. But even though it seems limitless, is it limitless on the physical world? So one of the things I think one of the biggest lessons, I think we all need to kind of sit there and just kind of absorb the moment, the reality of what happened, in the sense that this wasn't a movie, this wasn't some kind of thing you watch on TV, okay? This is real children, real people, real lives. We know it, but yet God, as human beings, sometimes we can desensitize ourselves to that fact, which is the hard part. For our own sanity, sometimes we have to a point. I understand the human condition can only take so much. But no matter what, we're going into a new year, and, and everything, and not trying to depress you guys. But, I just needed that kind of moment, where just, okay, it's been a lot. Now let me have a good cry about what happened. It's senseless. It's incredibly sad. I was just kind of looking at their photos tonight. They're these beautiful, beautiful children who, they have their whole lives ahead of them, and they didn't deserve this. Okay. And I know spirits, like I said, I've always believed, I know Spirit wants everybody evolved in the light. I understand. I've got that message from the Spirit, even including this son of a bitch, right? But I don't think he's going to evolve in the light anytime soon, okay? He's going to have to face his own karma and shit. But, what can we kind of take from this? It's a hard one, but no matter what, hold your loved ones close, cherish those moments, those bits of memories that you have. Don't waste any moment of your life. It is one of the big messages, of course. These children, I definitely, if I was, even though I like I said, I will not channel any spirits on YouTube ever, but I'm sure a message they would give is, hey, life is Anytime, you never know. So cherish those moments that you do have. Make the moment of every day you've got. You know, don't neglect your loved ones. Say you're in a little fight with squabble with someone, and you probably need to make up and say you're sorry. Maybe you're being a little prideful. Go say you're sorry. Whatever it may be. But just let's be better people. Let's do our best. And any little gifts. Don't forget to give. Show gratitude. Be kind to other people. Do things, but just want to give that quote. Just kind of where I kind of feel. And so sometimes we got to have that moment where we kind of sit there and just absorb everything, that, there's these poor little children, is really what they were. They're younger than my own kids, really, it's tragic. We love them. It's almost like they became part of the family. I love them like my own. I want to protect them, but I know I can't, but I know they're on the other side, and I know that. I gotta believe that, but I know it in my heart somewhere, with the angels, with God, with Spirit, they're safe now. They're safe now, and now it's going to be a while. I know the families, of course, there's always going to be a thing there, So one of the things, definitely pray, especially for the families, to be able to finally heal. It'll never be 100%, of course, but get into at least that kind of mode that if there's any kind of possibility to be able to do that, whatever changes need to take place, maybe so the young people of Moscow, Idaho can be safe, what things could be done better so people like this, can't get a leg up in the game. We're still learning about, what's going on. Yes, it's senseless. It's frightening that there are people that walk among us that are monsters. That's what it boils down to. That's a reality that we look at. But there'll be us. There's going to be a social media. And like I said, I know there's people who want to give the sleuths a bad rap. Well, the sleuths said about 19,000 tips. And I'm telling you, it's like I said, I think I said it, community. If it wasn't for things like social media and all that, people that probably sent videos and tips and all kinds of stuff and everything, he might have got away with it. So let's be thankful for social media, and the cops got to know it. Okay, I know there's some things that went kind of negative, other accusation, all this weird stuff that's going to happen. The main thing is the real guy is caught. That's the main thing. But just kind of sitting here in this, I just had to have this kind of moment to myself, thinking of what it's always been about, is about these children. So just kind of extend my prayers up. I'm going to put my prayers up, for definitely the healing, toward the families, toward even the community in Moscow, and everything for the little ones who are on the other side. Let's just kind of remember that, and we got to make this world a better place for our children. If anything, I kind of thought about that's another thing we really got to do. We got to make a better place for them to be able to, so they can go safely to school and get their education and go out and pursue their dreams. Okay, you guys have a happy New Year.